Ramblin Reploids. Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Ramblin Reploids. My name is ColeManX, and as always, I'm joined by my good buddy...
Twitch from Reploid REVO. Hello everyone.
And, as a special guest this time, we have Jay from Jay's Reviews.
Hello, folks.
Yay! A lot of people have been requesting you on the show, so
Wow.
I'm really excited we finally get to do it.
Good. I mean, I was saying this when we just got on. I was like, I've been talking to Twitch and DMs for like years at this point. We've just never actually like spoken. So it was just literally as simple as, want to be on their show? Yeah, sure. When? How about this week? All right, let's do it.
And here we are.
Yeah.
I make it happen, people. I put it together.
It's true. This is my first time actually meeting Jay, and I'm, been a fan for years, and I'm really just happy to have you on.
Thanks.
Yeah, I as well have been a fan of Jay's Reviews for a long time. Do really excellent reviews, as the name implies. I think I got started with your videos actually on your DC Animated Universe reviews.
Oh, really?
And I think that's where I started, actually. And then I believe a handful of people started sending me, like, your Mega Man reviews. And I was like, oh, wow, he does Mega Man stuff, too? This is awesome. So, I remember there was a period of time where I just binge-watched, like, your entire DCAU series of reviews, your re-reviews of some of those things, and then also the Mega Man reviews. And then now, of course, I'm going through the re-reviews that you're currently in the process of doing as of the recording of this episode. So it's you do great work, man.
Perfection DNA going on. Oh, it's funny that you've been watching the DCAU retrospective, because like I remember you commented on my videos. Like I remember I saw a comment of yours like after I had done the 0ZX stuff, and it was like that must mean you were a real OG DCAU fan before Justice League came in and made it really popular. So cool.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, and I'm gonna sound like such an old man. I remember when the Batman animated series like first came on TV. Like I was hooked #1 on Batman Returns. Like that was my movie as a kid. Like when I was like really little when Batman Returns first came out. And then they started doing the Batman cartoon show, and I was like, yo, this is so cool. And like I remember like the schoolyard whispers and mumbles about like, Mask of the Phantasm and how cool it was. And like I loved it as a kid just because I was like, yay, Batman. But like now that I'm older, I can go back and like really appreciate them as movies. And then so when I saw your reviews, I was like, wow, this is like excellent. Like it actually, if I remember correctly, it spurred me on to go and like binge watch the entire DCAU like from start to finish. I remember blowing through. I think I just did Justice League actually, Justice League and then Unlimited. I didn't start with Batman and Superman because that was way too much content. I was ready to binge, but excellent stuff. And then of course I came across your Mega Man content, and so of course I love that too. I think you do really excellent reviews of those, and I think you give them all fair points, and you touch on a lot of the same things that I feel about them. So like I feel weird when I comment on them because I'm just basically saying, yeah, same, but like in a lot of words.
Yeah.
But really, I think that you have a good feel for the franchise, and I think that you give them their fair shake, and I think you do good criticism of them. So if you haven't been watching Jay's Reviews yet, this is Reploid REVO's full endorsement to please go check them out.
Yeah, I think I started with one of the first X reviews. I just happened to stumble upon it, and then I just followed it, and even when there was like stuff I didn't like agree with, I thought it was just so entertaining and so well done that I'm like, I'm gonna watch this many times. And then I did.
I got pretty lucky, I'd say, in hindsight, because like Mega Man is like the first thing that really was like a successful topic for me, and it was like, I think it's because back in the day, we're talking like 2016, like Mega Man X coverage was pretty scarce on YouTube. Like, it was hard to find like a video. Not to say that my videos back then were like, ooh, so highly produced, but you know what I mean? Where it's just like, there weren't really that many of that. And then even just now, 6 years later, actually, It's like it's so hard to imagine anything that hasn't been done into the ground on YouTube. But I mean, even back then, it was a case where like Mega Man X content was a lot more rare. So.
Yeah, I was told that I started my channel, like, not to make this about me, but I was told that I had started my channel, turning into Rich Evans over here. Gonna pull out my folding table. Anyway, I had started my channel at a fortuitous time, like, it wasn't planned. I was just like, I really want to talk about Mega Man, and I know a lot about the lore, and I don't really see anyone covering that as like a YouTube video topic, except for like, what is it, Dookie Shed and like Game Theory, and I'm like, I don't think those guys quite got it right. Not that there was anything wrong with Dookie Shed, but Game Theory, and everyone knows my opinion on him, but I was like, I can do this better, so I did it, and I was like, I just want to talk about Mega Man, and then as I was doing it, Mega Man 11 gets announced, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy, and so the combination of like launching a Mega Man channel and then those things happening at a time when like people were starved for Mega Man content, like you said, I think it was around that time too, like 2016, 2017. So it just happened to line up. The stars aligned for Mega Man content on YouTube, and so I'm really glad that we're here now where we are. So
yeah, that was like when Mega Man first really started coming back after the big drought between Mega Man 10 and,
the
like,
long
first
drought
Legacy
of
collection.
2010.
Yeah.
Oh man, I having lived through multiple Mega Man droughts in my time, I know what the struggle is like. But I'm glad we're seemingly pulling out of that now. I know people are like, "Oh, we're not getting any Mega Man games, and it's a dead franchise." I'm like, "No, it's not a dead franchise, but it's not
active.
there's nothing new." You know what I'm saying?
I say this in a video that has yet to come out, but it's like the Zero ZX, like, I mean, actually, I don't know if it's going to be out by the time this is uploaded, but anyway, I say the Zero ZX Legacy Collection trailers feel like they were like building up something. So I mean, I'm just gonna remain optimistic.
I've talked about this before, but there's still people who have like not heard of this. There's a game in the works called Rockman Taisen, which no one knows what it is. The only information we have on it is that it is apparently the highest budget Mega Man game since Mega Man 11, which, I mean, that sounds good. It seems like they're really focusing a lot of effort on it.
Well, that just sounds like a funny sentence, because it's like the highest budget game since the last one.
Yeah,
the last one.
Well, I mean, since I guess that's true when you think about it, like in Mega Man terms, like the last one is pretty much the only point of the point of comparison you have. But I think what they were trying to imply is that it has a big budget. It's not like a budget title. It's not a fun distraction like X-Dive,
Yeah, I feel like you look at how long it's been, and I feel like we heard as like early as like 2018 that the next Mega Man like post 11 was in development. So I mean, unless it was canceled, I mean I guess that's plausible. Unless it
don't
was
say
canceled,
that.
I don't want to be a bad omen, but I mean, like, unless it was canceled, where is it at?
From what I hear, and I mean, I don't claim to speak for Protodude, but if anyone here follows Protodude and or Brian on Twitter, he usually is like the ~1 source for like Mega Man news, and
seriously,
he knows things that a lot of people don't know. And from what I've been told, not what I've been told, I just go on his Twitter. It seems to be that like it's not canceled, it's still in development, and the main thing that he's heard is just like the pandemic has just completely steamrolled everything and like slowed it all to a halt. So it's not that it's canceled, it's just that production has slowed down significantly. And we
priorities shifted.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm like, as long as it's not canceled and as long as they're still giving it their all, I am happy to wait. I am a person who waited like 11 years from Mega Man Legends 3, and then that got canceled, and then I'm another person who waited. At this point, I think I'm pushing like 18 years for Mega Man X9. So like, I'm a very patient person. Mega Man Legends has very adequately stomped all expectations out of me, and I'm like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. But I do think that whatever this game is, whatever this mystery game is, I think it'll be good. Only because, like I said, they mentioned the budget is going to be something. And then also, they said, I don't know the exact quote, something along the lines of, it will be a Mega Man game that will make all Mega Man fans happy. Or fans of all different types of Mega Man games happy. Something to that effect. So I'm guessing it sounds like it's going to be some sort of crossover, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like a crossover fighting game, or maybe like a...
Hey, we talked about that in another episode.
Yeah, we did. So, like, I don't want to retread too much ground. But, like, the point I'm getting at is that Mega Man's not a dead franchise. It's just, it's a dormant franchise. It's still alive. It's just in hibernation because, you know, certain things have happened in the world that are cause for crisis. We're currently dealing with the fallout of Eurasia. I'm just going to refer to it as that from now on.
Very advertiser friendly.
Yeah, exactly. No one has the Roboenza pandemic has unfortunately been affecting, you know, lots of people, especially in Japan. They're still very locked down. But anyway, the point I'm getting at, Mega Man isn't dead. It's still there. Just be patient.
And it's the 35th anniversary this year, so I think if they're gonna do something that pleases everyone, this is the perfect time.
Fingers crossed. But enough speculation. Let's get into the meat of this. I think we prepared some questions for Jay. I hope he did his homework and wrote down the answers. No, I'm kidding.
There's a test? I didn't study.
Well, too late now. It's a pop quiz. Coleman, why don't you go with yours first, and I'll come in with mine afterwards.
Sure. Well, Jay, you are a decent amount younger than Twitch and myself. So, how did you get into the Mega Man series? Like, you know, it was past its prime when you started to get in. So what piqued your interest and what made you want to try it?
Well, the complete story of it is I feel like when I was a kid, Mega Man was around. I mean, I remember in the 2000s, like, obviously they were spamming Mega Man games every year, like Battle Network, Zero X. I mean, I feel like I saw some TV commercial for Maverick Hunter X when I was a kid. This could be fake news. I don't remember, but I feel like that was a thing. But anyway, so I feel like Mega Man was at least something I had seen around when I was a kid. Not like actively was consciously aware of, but it was a thing. I remember Jazzwares made like Mega Man figures back in the day. Not that I had any, but I mean.
Oh man.
So anyway, there was that. But then, of course, when you get into YouTube game reviews, I mean, like, most of my media diet when I was, like, 10 and 11 and 12 was, like, YouTube game reviews. And it's, like, people talk about Mega Man. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. So, I mean, I hear about Mega Man, especially in relation to Sonic, because, like, they did the Archie crossover. So, there was that. So, I was kind of getting familiar with the world of Mega Man. And then Mega Man gets announced for Smash Bros. For like, Smash 4. And then that's pretty exciting. Everybody's excited about that. And then the Mighty Number 9 thing happens. So Mega Man was a thing I was just being more and more made aware of. And then in like 2014 on the Wii U, I decided to download Mega Man 7 because that game looked really interesting to me. Even if it was the reputation was a little more divisive. And I downloaded X1 as well because of the fact that like at least that's a little more of a everyone likes this one kind of thing.
Yeah.
I actually managed to beat all the Robot Master stages of Mega Man 7. At least I think I did. X1 kicked my ass, though. I mean, I remember not being able to beat one Maverick stage because I remember I was somehow playing Spark Mandrill's level without the dash. I don't know how that even happened, but it's like I was like, oh, I like Mega Man 7. Didn't light the world on fire for me, but I mean, I thought it was good. But then like Mega Man X, a few months later, this is just out of nowhere. This is like January 2015. I was like, oh god, that's really a long time ago now, isn't it? But yeah, so that was
wow, yes.
So that's when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try Mega Man X again, and then let's see if I can really get into it. I'll start over. And that's when it really clicked. I mean, like, the first time I mentioned this in a video once, the first time I heard that victory jingle, I was like, that's the completionist theme. And then, like, you hear the weapon get screen, it's like, that's also the completionist theme. So it's like, I was, like, kind of more hooked, and I beat the game, and it was, like, you know, one of the best games I had played by the end of it. And then I got into the rest of the X series, loved that, got into Classic and Zero, and later Legends and ZX. So still never experimented with Battle Network and Star Force to this day. But I mean, the rest is history. I cover Mega Man I play Mega Man religiously for a year. I cover it on YouTube. That blows up, and now here we are.
Here we are. You know, it's interesting that you said you had a little bit of, I think you said like you had some difficulty with Mega Man 7 after playing like what was it, X1, and I don't know if this is a thing, but I've noticed that people who start with the X series tend to have a harder time with Classic. Like if their focus is on the X series, like it was with me, like that's what I grew up with, they have a harder time with the Classic series. But if you started with the Classic series, you then have a harder time with the X series, which is like it's like inversely like logical. Like because I'm thinking like, well, you'd think the X series would be easier if you came off Classic because you have like wall kicking and dashing, and it's basically the same gameplay, but you have like more abilities at your disposal for like mobility and like defensive, you know, maneuvers, so to speak. So yeah, I always found that interesting that there seems to be this weird flip with depending on which game you started with.
Well, now it's also just a case where I have played Mega Man X 1 through 8 and Maverick Hunter X an uncountable amount of times. Whereas, like, I can tell you, I have not played the classic games all the way through since I had, like, LP'd them on my Let's Play channel that is now, like, defunct. But, I mean, I had LP'd them, that was, like, 6 years ago now. So it's like, yeah, that was the last time I beat Mega Man 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So
right.
It's like I've played them all like maybe twice, 3 times. I like them. I think Mega Man 7 and 6, for example, are like really good games, but it's like I just don't really come back to them very often.
Yeah.
7's fantastic. Don't let its bad reputation from a song.
Yeah. I agree.
Sway you. That goes for everyone out there. Mega Man 7 is great.
I say Brental Floss has done more damage to Mega Man 7 than it deserves.
I mean, genuinely, I feel like Mega Man 7 is probably my favorite if I had to think of one in hindsight.
It's my favorite along with 8. Like I kind of hold them in like similar regard. So I'm like a weird kid because I had X1. My parents were like, "Oh, he likes Mega Man. Let's get him this game for Super Nintendo." And it's because I used to watch the Ruby Spears cartoon, so like that was my only exposure to Mega Man. So
right.
I've got like a weird history with how I got into Mega Man, but like, well, that's for another time. But anyway, I had X1, and like that was the only Mega Man game I had for like years. I saw X2 and X3 in stores, like when I used to go to Toys R Us before that, you know, became defunct. And,
why didn't you grab them?
I know.
You could have given it to me now.
I didn't know. I had no idea what a stupid child I was, because I passed on them because I was like, well, I don't have the allowance for it, and you know, I don't know why.
It'll obviously be worth $10 in 30 years, so.
Yeah, I don't know what my thought process was. It's the same thought process that made me skip on Misadventures of Tron-Bon, probably, because I was like, when that game came out, like I'm so stupid, but when I was a kid, I had a friend who, me and him always got like the same Mega Man games. He ended up getting more Mega Man games than I did, actually. But he got Misadventures of Tron-Bon, and he's like, no, really, it's cool. And I'm like, you play as a girl? Ugh, I don't want to play as a girl. And so, like, I skipped on. I was like not even like a teenager at the time, probably. But I remember that being a really stupid thing, because I did end up playing it, and I'm like, oh, I actually love this game, and I love Tron-Bon, so...
So that game is good? Plot twist. I've still never played it.
So it's good, but it's not. It depends. So Misadventures of Tron-Bon is like a collection of multiple game types, and I know most people just want it to be the game type that you do in like the intro mission. There's like a game type where you play as Tron's Gustav, like the robot. And you have, like, your basic abilities. You can run around, like in Mega Man Legends, you can shoot things, and they introduced the lifter arm that would be in Legends 2 in here. You can play as the Gustav, and you can pick up, like, boulders or, like, police cars and, like, throw them. And, like, the mayhem you can cause in towns, like, when you go do those kinds of missions, is so much fun to just ransack an island, and like you can throw like you have like this ability to shoot like a beacon, and you can make the servbots you bring with you like go and collect items and bring them back to you, because you know you're in like a big slow robot. So you can send them into like someone's house, and like it goes to like a cutscene of the servbots like running around the house and like stealing everything, and it's really funny, but it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like if you've ever played like Hulk Ultimate Destruction, or like any of those like open world superhero games where you could just like wreck things for fun. It feels kind of like that, although, you know, with the control scheme of Legends. But then there's like a puzzle mode where you go to like various harbors and you have to like move boxes around, and you only have like so many moves before like the Gustav shuts down because it ran out of power. And so there's like a puzzle mode. There's like this fun adventure mode where you're like moving around a cave and like talking to people and like solving this mystery. So there's a whole bunch of different gameplay types. But actually it's a really fun game. And of course the characters are amazing. Like the voice acting is still top notch. It's just very charming. I know I'm getting like I don't even know how we got on this tangent, but the point is, I started with X1, and then I jumped right to X4, and I didn't pick up X2 or 3, and it wasn't until like afterwards that I started like recollecting the games and stuff and being like, oh my god, I love Mega Man so much, what was wrong with me? So, yeah, kind of kicking myself for not picking up Tron Bond for $30 in GameStop when I saw it, whereas now it's like 200.
I guess I got lucky way back in the day, because I'm from a small town that has nothing, but we had lots of like video rental stores. And when they started like clearancing out Super Nintendo games, that's when I got X3. And like I think I was looking for X2. I don't know why, because I like X3 more. But
you gotta get the whole collection.
it was sitting there on a shelf, $5.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm a kid. Thank you. And now I had X3, and then, you know, years later, it's like, oh, I'm glad I have that.
You
and
lucky.
then X2, I won a copy of X2 at one of my old jobs. I worked at a video game store, and this is when the game was $60. You know, I was like, even that's a little bit expensive, but it was like, you know, do something and you can get a game from our stock that is $60 or less. I'm like, that's perfect. I need X2, and then it shot up. And then I collected all the classic games like right before they started to get like stupid.
What are the NES games worth these days? I don't even really look.
I'm gonna say 2. Too much.
Yeah, I'm
gonna go on eBay right now.
All right, this is live J reaction.
Yeah, let's see, Mega Man.
Jay's reaction.
I don't know what they go for now.
I'm gonna go Mega Man 5 NES.
Oh, so Mega Man 5 is going to be expensive because that one is already rare because it was a limited production run.
Here we
so
have.
5 was the only one I had growing up too.
I believe here's a Mega Man 5 complete in box for $600.
Oh my god.
Okay. Change.
Here's
I don't like paying rent.
Here's a complete in box Mega Man 5 for $1,000 if you want to pay that.
Oh my god, no thank you.
It's a better box.
Yeah, maybe.
Here's one that's like $130. That must be a fake cart.
That's something. Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that. Word of warning to the people who are buying retro games online. There are people who will make repro carts and then sell you them for the full price of like what the real deal goes for. I'm lucky in that I know that my copies of X2 and X3 are not repros because they are like old and like worn, and you can see that like a child has handled these.
Yeah, like the sticker will be worn, the cart will be yellow. But I was thinking, when someone's listening to that, like, okay, we gotta roll around the cart in the washing machine, and then we can sell the game for $1,000. It's the perfect plan.
It's devious, man. We're gonna have to start carbon dating the cartridges to make sure that we're getting ones that are the correct age. You know.
Well, I actually got when I was like, it was a few years ago when I first started earning money on YouTube. I was like, I'm gonna go to the retro game store, and I got like X1 and then an X4 and X5. So. That was pretty cool, but then I put X1 inside my repro console, the Retron 5, back when I used that, and it was like the game had this weird thing where every time I would like beat a stage, I would just return to the intro stage, and this is like a famous anti-piracy method. I was like, I think this is a repro cart. It was pretty damn clean, I gotta say.
So here's the thing, you might actually have a legit copy, but because you're playing it in the Retron, it might think that you're pirating it and like emulating it, because this is an issue with emulation.
It's a 1.0 thing.
Interesting.
They re-released it later on. and that happens with several emulators too.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe
With
it
the
is
1.0 ROM.
legit. I mean, I don't even have an SNES
maybe.
anyway, so I mean, not like I was thinking I was gonna like be at a place with retro games in a couple weeks, so I'm just like maybe I'll get a new X1 because like on my wish list I've got X2 and X3, hoping to track those two down. But like maybe I don't need a new X1. Maybe the fake one. Maybe the will be won't be fake one.
It could be real. It depends. The way that you can probably, well, I don't know. I was gonna say like, because I've emulated X1 before. Shame on me, I know. It's not like I own every major Mega Man game that's been released, but I played it once on an emulator, and it just did what you were doing, where it would just return you back to the intro stage and just wipe your progress.
Yeah.
It's fun to play with that ROM and actually try to make it to the end, because there are like little quirks. Like if you hit something that like pings one of your shots, like a Met helmet or something, it will end the stage and either complete it or bring you to a random checkpoint. So getting around all that and then getting to Sigma is really fun. I did a stream of that once, and it was just stupid, like
Mega Man X1 piracy percent.
Oh man, it was so funny. I loved it.
I remember that happened to me once when I was trying to play it, and like I kept going back to the intro stage. Or one time, I don't remember how or why this happened. I think there's a thing. One of the anti-piracy measures is like every 256th explosion that is triggered, it has a chance of like resetting the game or bringing you to a checkpoint or whatever. And I was on Chill Penguin stage.
256 explosions?
Yeah, like, because
I was gonna say that's one X3 mini boss.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so that's the thing, is that the counter for the explosions also counts like actual like boss explosions. So every time you beat a boss, there's a really high likelihood that you're gonna just completely like restart. So I remember like I shot one of the bats in Chill Penguin stage, and like it faded to black and then faded back in, and like I was past Dr. Light's capsule. I was like, wait a second. So that was like I was able to naturally get through the stage without picking up the dash boots. It was really weird. Normally you have to like password cheese to get past that, but I don't know.
That's my favorite password.
Yeah, all sorts of funny things happen when you get past the capsule when you're not supposed to be able to.
Did you know that you can get every single upgrade in Mega Man X without the dash, except for the heart and Sting Chameleon stage?
Really?
I did not.
You can get all the other armor pieces. I would not have expected that.
Yeah.
Is it like glitchy, or you just
like,
can? You can just do it.
You just can. Like if you, a lot of it is requiring getting the arm parts from zero and then backtracking.
Oh, that makes sense. So you could use the Chill Penguin sled.
The Chill Penguin sled, yeah, that can get you almost anything.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
You can get the.
Wait, you can get the heart
the head
tank
and chest. No, you have to kick the wall. It's a wall that you have to kick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you would be able to like Chill Penguin sled through the water and then like jump off and grab the.
Yeah.
You have to
you
have to like suicide
could,
to get back because you can't jump back. But...
You could if that wall wasn't there, but it's a kick only wall.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. There is. You have to
way.
actually break the whole wall. Because okay, yeah, I know you're right. I'm thinking like, if you broke it, could you use Chill Penguin sled to get across? And you can, but yeah, you need to have the leg parts in the first place. So.
Yep.
Dang it.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a fun way to play. If you've played it a million times, but I wouldn't know anything about that.
I recommend on top of that is Mega Man X Randomizer. I love that thing.
Yes, gotta love the randomizer.
I've never played a randomizer. Maybe I should with X.
You should.
It's so much fun.
You should look up Mega Man X Randomizer and have loads of fun with it. Like, so it's so cool too because it does things. Like, not only does it add some cool features to the game, but it also does things. Like it reactivates missing behaviors. So okay, so here's my favorite thing ever. So Hoganmer, the little shield guys with the ball and chain, they have a shield that blocks everything. You cannot destroy the shield, right? There's a Game Shark code or Action Replay, whatever, that you can use, which will take away their shields, and the Hoganmers will like jump after you. And they become more mobile, which is funny because they're actually more dangerous that way than when they have the shield. So, the shield blocks everything, but there's an option in the Mega Man X randomizer, I think just called like weakness randomization, where now every enemy and every boss in the game has weaknesses and resistances flipped. Like it's random. So you can use Shotgun Ice on Spark Mandrill, but maybe it doesn't even do any damage anymore. Like, it just freezes him and doesn't do anything. Now his weakness is, like, a medium shot. So you have to hit him with medium shots to do, like, the weakness damage. Or maybe you can, you know, like... And when I say, like, it randomizes the weaknesses to anything, I mean, like, literally anything. Any normal shot that X can shoot of any level to something as crazy as, like, the shockwave from the super shot becomes something's weakness. Not like the main shot, like, not like the pink spiral thingies, but like the shockwave that goes around him. So it could be anything. So one time I was playing, and when I was fighting the Hoganmer, it turns out the shield can be destroyed natively in the game as long as it's weak to something. And it turns out that when I was playing... in the normal vanilla game, it doesn't have any weakness. It's resistant to everything. So I think I hit it with like, I don't know, like a rolling shield or like E-Spark or something, and it actually destroyed the shield, and the Hoganmer started hopping around and doing stuff like he was intended to do. So it seems like the functionality is still in the game, it's just that through normal gameplay, you can never destroy the shield naturally, but if you randomize the weaknesses to everything, there's a chance that you might be able to hit it with something. So,
wow.
It's a lot of fun just seeing enemies do neat things that you've never seen them do before. So
yeah, and the shield will show cracks as it's breaking.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just part of the game that you never get to see. It's really neat.
It's cool stuff. So, big recommend that you try out the randomizer. I think that you'll have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah,
Really
it's super fun. I love killing the like when you get a weakness randomizer to give vulnerability to the little guys that shoot the lasers in Coenger's stage.
Yeah, and you can destroy them.
And you can just blow them up, and it's just like whatever.
Yeah, those guys are also normally invulnerable and also stand on them, which I don't know why you'd want to, but you can. But yeah, sometimes the vulnerability randomizer will make them able to be destroyed by something, and so you can just blow them up. Yeah, it's great.
All right, are you guys ready for question 2?
Yeah,
We ask questions here?
we are questioning everything all the time.
Yes. But really, there are several Mega Man sub-series, Classic, X, etc. Which one would you want to see a new game from, or would you just prefer a brand new sub-series? Like, if you got to pick today, Johnny Capcom comes up to you and says, "Jay of Jay's Reviews, what do you want us to do?"
Well, I think that since I'm uncreative, I'm just gonna say X9.
Hell,
That's a solid choice.
That is my that is my answer to that, because it's like I think about it, like Zero Series is done, ZX getting a continuation would be cool, Legends 3 obviously would be cool, but X9 though, like, I want some X9, like that's all I can say. It's my favorite one, so that's like my answer to that.
That's super fair.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, I think if they're ever gonna make like a sequel to like another, like a non-classic sequel, please, like you can pause on the classic series for a bit. We all know that everyone loves classic Mega Man. I think X9 would be a strong one too, because we just got I shouldn't say we just got it, but the Legacy collections came out, and so everyone is like now up to date on the story if you've been playing them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now would be a great time to do a sequel and make X9, because now everyone's going to be like, well, what happened to Axel? He got the tentacle thingy in his forehead, and
He got a
big old boo-boo. What's going on? So I think that would be a good way to continue too. Like, I personally would say Legends 3, only because I just want... I'm selfish that way, and I've been waiting so long, and it's the quote-unquote end to the Mega Man franchise, so I just kind of want to know what that is. But I think X9 is more likely, and so like I'm right there with you for that.
Yeah, and like it just makes so much sense, like after Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, it's like here's X as the main character, and then here's Teppen, here's X as the main character, here's Dive, X is a main character. You know, it's just like they put X in the public consciousness so much. I've been saying this, you know, since all this started, and it makes sense to kind of strike while everyone has X on the brain. But, you know, what do I know?
I mean, I just think that that's the one that gets me the most excited from like a gameplay perspective, because it's like, I mean, my videos go in depth on the kind of the fact that I think Mega Man X as a series makes the whole pick your own boss fight thing the most interesting, with how many different unlockables there are in every stage. So if they craft like a really well designed game with like great platforming and combat, and also like a good item game, it's like, that's a perfect game right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
Honestly, that's part of what really makes me love the X series, is like, it's the gradual power-ups that you get throughout the game just make it feels good to get those, and like the aesthetic is really nice, and just, I don't know, to me it feels like Mega Man perfected, you know?
I agree.
Not that there's anything wrong with Zero or ZX, I just feel like the focus on those is like a little different. Like, I don't know how to really put that into
combo
words.
mad. You play Mega Man Zero.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Mega Man and X is more all around what I like the best in Mega Man.
Yeah, there's a little
Yeah,
of something
same.
for everyone, I think, in Mega Man X.
Yeah. In our ramble about X9 from a while ago, I said that I want to see the boss refights incorporate X Challenge, you know, from the Legacy Collection. Because I think it would be so cool to have bosses that are built from the ground up to work alone, you know, like in their normal stage fights, and then to break the monotony of the refights, they come two at a time and they have like patterns that work together or something. I think that would be so cool.
I think that would be cool as well.
Yeah.
Just something fresh for that part of the game. It was actually just the other day I was playing X3 again, the Zero Project version, but and I was just like, I got to Doppler 3, and I was like, I think I'm done. Like, like it's just, I've played it so many times that obviously it makes the boss rush worse, but it's also just like, I don't know, it's just not that fun. So yeah.
I think you're onto something when you say you want to incorporate the X challenge, because like I love the boss rush as like a tradition. Like I feel like it should stay there as like a tradition of some sort. But I do agree they need to like mix it up. Like give bosses exclusive moves they only use during the refight, which I think you mentioned in your Maverick Hunter X video. You were talking about how, like, if you play on the harder mode, Chill Penguin's Shotgun Ice actually behaves like Shotgun Ice. And so,
Yeah,
if they
I
added
was thinking that.
if they added little tweaks like that when you fight them in the refights, or like you said, Coleman, if like they can, you know, team up or so. Like, could you imagine fighting like Spark Mandrill and like Armored Armadillo together? You know, like
That would be
like
so
I'm
much
picturing
fun. Yeah.
like, so you fight them alone, and then when they team up, like maybe Spark Mandrill picks up Armadillo and like bowls him at you, like, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Or
I also just think
yeah.
boss
Man.
pattern, the way, like the whole weaknesses guaranteeing victory thing is just something that I think has got to go. Although maybe Mega Man 11 does that. I only played that once. I really don't remember. But
from what I've
I'm
seen
just thinking, like,
in 11, like it I don't know if it necessarily guarantees victory, but I know that you can lay on so much damage to bosses using the power gear that you can like kill in seconds, and it becomes like a race to be like, how can I optimize the maximum output of damage?
that's like satisfying in
Yeah,
its own
it
way.
is.
So I think I'll give that the pass. But like when you get to like let's say you have Tornado Fang and X3 and you're fighting Volt Catfish, it's like, if you have literally one unit of health left, if you have a fully stocked Tornado Fang, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Like it's a guarantee.
Exactly. I wish they did more of this, like in X1, where you can use weapons on characters to disable other attacks of theirs, like cutting off the trunk of Flame Mammoth or the
Oh
temple.
yeah, that's really
That
cool.
is cool. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
necessarily weaken them, but it does take away some of their abilities, and it gives you reason to experiment with some of their powers, because maybe you're like, okay, I don't have their weakness, which is going to like do a lot of damage, but I can disable this, or I can trip them up this way, and now I can lay on damage with like the Mega Buster or something. I think
Yeah.
weaknesses shouldn't be like, but then there's also bad examples like Spark Mandrill, or even Sting Chameleon. Like Sting Chameleon, like you just bully him if you have Boomerang Cutter. It's ridiculous. You literally shoot left and right without thinking, and you just hit him repeatedly until he's dead. I think that weaknesses should have like an effect, and it should make the battle easier, but it shouldn't just guarantee victory. Like maybe there should be more of a cooldown or something. Like
if a charge shot does 3 lines of health, maybe a weakness does 6. I'm thinking like just 5, 6, like something that makes you definitely notice that you have a more powerful weapon, but definitely not something that just makes the boss done before it even starts.
I think it shouldn't stun lock them so much, because at that point, like I said, just like with Sting Chameleon and Spark Mandrill, it basically is no longer a fight. It's just a waiting game of you just doing the same inputs until they're dead. And it removes the fight from them. So I kind of like when a boss will get weakened by something, but like the fight is still going on. You know, so I feel like weaknesses going forward should either modify the battle so that like the boss has to play differently because you hit them with something, like, you know, cutting off the tentacles or the nose or something like that, or if it's going to be their weakness, it should change their behavior so that you're not just doing the same pattern over and over again. Something, I don't know what the compromise for this is, but I feel like that would really improve. It would also make the boss refights like a lot less boring if you could, you know, I don't know. There's something to be had here.
Yeah, I think if a weakness does like a secondary effect, like it should just happen 1 out of 5 times, you know, like just so you can't just rely on it.
Right, like Spark Mandrill, like maybe he can only be frozen after you've piled on enough ice onto him or something. Like you can hit him with it, and you can like I'm just using him as an example because he's such a there's a whole weakness thing named after him, Spark Mandrill syndrome. It's like
Mega Man X also, I think you realize like Classic has this, but like Mega Man X is so much worse because the bosses have these long invincibility frames, and even worse, those long ass explosions.
Yeah, exactly. And so it should be something more interactive, more entertaining, and you should be encouraged to experiment with other weapons on them. So this way, I hate when you rock into a battle and you're like, I'm not going to use these other 7 weapons because they're all pointless, but I know this one will work, you know? Like, I want to see, like, Spark Mandrill, like, if you hit him with Shotgun Ice a whole bunch, it'll either freeze him after you've, like, hit him enough times with it, and then finally he can shatter out of it. Or, maybe, you can hit him with, like, a certain number of Shotgun Ices, and it slows him down. But if you hit him with 1 more, like, maybe you're tempted to keep hitting him with Shotgun Ice, then that's when he breaks the ice off of him and regains his speed. You know what I'm saying? So, you can, like, you can kind of mix it up a little bit and, like, make the weapons and the boss fights more interesting, especially during the refights, so that you're not just, you know, it's not just pattern recognition, you know, number 2, Electric Boogaloo. You know what I mean?
Definitely agree. I think just Mega Man bosses just need some kind of a redesign.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, you know, hate how the explosions got, you know, way stupid after just X2. Yeah. But I forget if X8 or any of the other games like will just teleport out while the guy's exploding. I think there's
certain ones during the refights you could teleport out during the Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of the training stage in X8. The Optic Sunflower, where when you complete some of the challenges, you have to beat like a gigantic mechanoid or something, and then when you blow it up, it's like in the middle of the explosion thing, and then it fades to white and you teleport out. And I'm like, you know, I would kind of be okay with that if that was like, you know, like a boss fight, but then you lose like the victory pose. I like the victory pose.
Yeah, it's like, but X is like, well, got to make sure he's blown up before I can. You know,
they just got to speed up the explosions. Like, maybe just add a button, like, so for players you could just press it and fast forward through the explosion.
Well, I like the classic Mega Man approach. You come in, you use the weakness, it's dead in 5 seconds.
Yeah, they do the same explosion as everyone else, as Mega Man.
Well, have either of you played the X2 beta that's floating around?
No, I never have. I played an X3
Well, it's in
beta.
one of them. But in the X2 one, I forget if it's the older one or if it's in both of them. But when you kill a boss, it just off the screen, it just disappears.
Oh, that's
There's no
right.
explosion or anything. It is the funniest thing, and I just wish there was like in the options of the next, like any next Mega Man game, it's like X2 beta explosions on or off. It's just on and just
speedrunners must.
Yes.
do the final shot and then just and then you're gone.
I
It's
think
so funny.
they should definitely have some sort of fanfare explosion, like how in X4 they added like the cool light rays that come out of them. Do that, have like the multiple
Yeah.
explosions, but like just speed it up. Like we get it, you know what I mean? It shouldn't last 30 seconds or however long it is for them to explode. Just blow them up and get on with it.
Maybe like the more damage you do, like the more the boss like looks worn down. Like when you're down like the last few hits, he's already kind of like having some mini explosions, and then when you get the last hit, he's like a big
yeah.
just like
explosion.
Blue Eyes when you're fighting him in Sting
Yeah.
Chameleon stage, get him the
he's-
chest capsule.
he's poofing
You hit him
around.
enough times and he starts like smoking. So like that could be like the build up. So it's encouraging you, like, look, you're almost done. Just keep hitting him, you know. And then finally when you're done, you can
Yeah.
have like the game can pause like it normally does. He could be in his pain pose, you know, all samurai style, and then it could just be like boom, 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 and then it's just done.
Or they can, you know, it's the classic all in one room refight thing, and the first 7 just have like really quick explosions, and then when you kill the last one, that's when it does the big huge thing. Then you get the pose, then
Something
you
like
know,
that.
do the thing, because that's kind of the best of
Yeah.
both worlds. Or just do X1 style, have the Mavericks show up in the final stages and they explode relatively quickly. You know,
Like
just
I said,
bring that
I
back.
think a skip button would be like just press it and just get to the final explosion. Oh, that
Yeah,
would be cool.
well, it's
what
just
if
funny.
you
It's
shoot
like-
them
it's
while
like
they're
what-
exploding? So like they're doing their long explosion sequence, but you can still play, so you just blow them up.
You keep hitting him, and it makes it more explosions happen. Like
That would be cool, like an overkill system. Like, so like you're 0 and you just, you know, beat this Maverick and he's like, ugh. And then like the explosions are happening, but then like you can keep like saber dash canceling and just whacking him and make more and more explosions. So then you can control the length of time it takes. Then you can have fun with it. It's your little like fatality. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You had something?
well, I was just saying it was funny that like, cause like, well, what Mega Man sub-series do you want to come back? No, I want an overhaul of the whole thing.
Start over again. Give us Maverick Hunter X, even more Mavericker. I don't know. More Hunter.
There it is.
But
But yeah, X9's a
yeah,
great choice.
I think that's good. I never thought I'd ramble about how long explosions take, but here we are.
Have you seen this show
I
before?
mean, if you've played Mega Man X2 and 3 as many times as I have, you really start to notice how long.
Yeah,
these explosions are.
I have and what's funny is that I've played them enough times that I have like the explosion rhythm like in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
Like when you beat a boss in X2 and it's like and like it just slowly builds up and it's like just get on with it.
That doesn't last 15 seconds. I know it's 15 seconds. I said in that new video, it's like, by the end of the boss rush, you will have watched explosions for 2 minutes.
I think it would be less frustrating, like I said, if you could speed it up or do something to the bosses while it's happening. I don't know. I think that would add for some cool, like, oh, maybe that's like a morality thing. Like, oh, do you spare them? Do you let them explode? I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Or maybe, like, it's like, oh, that's sure you can hit. Now you're really going to hit 1 minute of explosions.
Oh,
per
no.
boss. That's your punishment.
Yeah, I could go on and on about explosions, but I won't. So I'm gonna skip over to my next question. These are really a pair of questions. So I'll just ask them at the same time. What is the coolest, most hype moment in all of Mega Man? And what is the lamest and dumbest moment in all of Mega Man?
Oh man.
You know, I feel like for me, I was trying to think of some non-Mega Man X examples, so I'll just say in terms of the coolest moments, I think the ending cutscene of 0-1 is pretty cool, and like the opening cutscene of 0-2 is also pretty cool. The final bosses of 0-3 and 4 are also like that way. Of course, there's Zero's rescue of X in X1, and then there's also Zero's rescue of X in X3. And I mean, those are both pretty good ones. I'm trying to think. Besides that, I think those are the ones that come to my mind the most for the coolest Mega Man moments. But I was thinking, what are the lamest and dumbest moments? That's a funny question. So I was just gonna go with Sigma's return in Mega Man X7 is definitely my favorite go-to example
Professor.
because that like. I just find it so funny. I remember I said in the new video is that in X7, I feel like Sigma trying to like weasel his way into this group by pretending to be a supporter of their idea. I think that's actually not a bad idea for a
How
story.
do you do,
the problem
fellow
is just
Reploids?
that the execution is just so laughably bad that it's just really fucking funny.
Oh my god.
It's just like, remember Sigma's like, let's do this democratically, and then like all the robots just show up, and then he's like, what have you done to my pals? It's like, what the hell is going on here? And then the fact that like literally Tornado Tunyon is just telling X that like there's some mysterious interloper causing this. He's like, man, wonder what that's about. Anyway, that's and then even when like Sigma reveals himself, X and Zero are just so unimpressed. It's like, so it was you after all. Even when we break you down to scrap, you always come.
Good to see you again, fellas. Like this.
Like I'll do it again and again. I will make X and Zero mine, and then just shoot him out the window. Like, that's it. Like, it's so terrible.
It's like a hard cut to Sigma just falling out of a window.
Oh, it's
I
like
love
it's
doing
like
that.
it's like the Garfield thing where it's like no matter
Garfield getting thrown out a window
yeah.
at the end of every comic.
Just Sigma getting thrown out the window. Oh, I love it.
That we should do that.
Like, it's the lamest. Like, just the end game of X7 is just so terrible in such a funny way. Is like you fight Red in like the mountains, and then the cutscene is like some crumbling basement, and then you keep climbing up and up and up, and then you're falling down an infinite elevator that takes you to outer space, and then you're at the top of the building.
Yeah,
It's just like,
Sigma's as big as the planet,
What the heck?
and then he's just a guy that gets shot in the face and knocked out a window. Like what
I'm
happened?
waiting for
Yeah.
X wakes up out of a capsule. Alia is like, "Hey X, are you okay?" Oh, Alia, I had the weirdest dream. Like,
and there's this really annoying kid trying to join the club, and wait, he's real?
no.
Oh,
Put me back under.
No, it's not Alia that wakes him up. It's Axel copying Alia.
Oh
It
no.
was me all along. It's like no.
Oh my gosh, it's I have to agree. Like, I mean, I know it's easy to dunk on X7, but it is definitely host to some of like the dumbest moments, like nonsensical things. It has good potential. Like when I think of the story, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, yeah, the Maverick Hunters. Like, no one has faith in the Maverick Hunters anymore. They're starting like vigilante groups. Like, that makes perfect sense in this like mostly destroyed world that they were trying to rebuild.
Yeah.
Cool premise.
I think it's a great setup for a
But
game.
then it all falls apart, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you know what they really should have done?
Oh, wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, no, another contender for the funniest thing in all of X7 is that it's the most obvious setup for a character arc ever. Is that you don't have what it takes to be a Maverick Hunter, and then like, oh, obviously Axel's gonna like save the day, and then he's gonna become a Maverick Hunter, and then what happens? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, whatever, let's go. And then like, and then the ending of the story is like, no way, you can't make him a hunter. Like nothing has changed.
It's so, oh my gosh, it's there's so much potential in the story for X7, and there's also weird potential in like the orbiting lore around X7, which is only revealed if you have like the X7 original soundtrack booklet. Like apparently Red is an ex-member of Repliforce.
Ooh.
I don't know when they were ever gonna
that's-
tell us that, but he's apparently an ex-member of Repliforce, so there could have been some cool like interpersonal drama between like Zero and Red, and like, you know, like maybe Red could have, you know, like teased Zero about Iris or something, and you know, like, oh, are you gonna take us down, you know, because you think that we're a Maverick, just like you did to Iris, right? You know, and Zero could be like, you know, there could have been like
Zero.
cool drama there.
Something, anything. Yeah.
But nope, they don't touch on that. And then also, apparently, I know, I forget your username, but there's someone that I know on Twitter who is absolutely in love with Alus and Sidar. I think Sidar is their favorite. I could be completely wrong. It's like the tall guy and the short fat guy with the cigar in his mouth in the intro to X7. The ones that Axel assassinates. Apparently in the, again, this is revealed only in the X7 OST booklet, that in the briefcase was something called Maverick Virus Mark II, and they were going to like use it for nefarious deeds. And I'm like, you know, this would have been...
I guess that could have been in the game.
That could have been a
nope.
really cool plot point. Like, you know, like maybe... So here's the thing. So Axel intercepts them and steal... And they just go out like jobbers. They're just designed for that intro sequence. But then Axel recovers Maverick Virus Mark II. And now it's in the hands of Red Alert. But he doesn't defect until, like, afterwards. What if Axel was like, this is getting out of hand, Red Alert is getting more and more violent, they're going to use Maverick Virus Mark II to try to reinfect the world, or something like that, so that they're never out of a job, and so that, like, you know, people will always turn to them for help. Like, they're gonna manufacture a crisis. You know, like, that would be a really cool setup for us.
That is pretty
That would be a
cool,
good setup
yeah.
for a story, for why Axel would leave them. But, you know, I mean, I guess, like, Red Alert being too violent is, like, still a good thing, but it doesn't feel right. And then that would explain why Sigma came back. It's like, oh, well, we had Maverick Virus Mark II, and, you know, we used it because we thought we could control Sigma or something like that. And, like, you know, you can show how far that Red Alert has fallen in terms of, like, getting desperate to, like, you know, like, stay and work or something.
The way that reminds me of just the fact that the way the game opens is so confusing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You have that robot being like, how did you do that? And then just like, oh, we're in the intro stage, and then apparently that was like weeks ago, and now Axel is trying to escape. Like, I don't even like, I always like never even knew what was going on in the opening of X7. You'd think the gameplay is a continuation of whatever it was you just watched, but it's not.
Yeah, and that's why I was so confused as to, like, what the hell is going on.
When I played X-Die, I was like, oh, this giant robot was sent after Axel by Red Alert in X7, and then that Zero destroys. I was like, that's what's going on? I was like, yeah, it only takes me like 6 playthroughs and like an OST booklet to understand the basic lore of the opening stage of Mega Man X7, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I said that is like, even just down to the Sigma flashbacks in like the later half of the game, I was like, wait a minute, I just realized that's supposed to be before the game. Not like right now. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of... It's weird because, like, there's a lot of good production value in X7 in, like, the art direction and, like, the character designs and especially the music. But the way that it's all hobbled together is, like, not good. It's like if you... It's like if you had, like, furniture and, like, all the pieces are, like, carved out of, like, beautiful mahogany and, like, they're polished and it's, like, really expensive and it's gonna be this beautiful thing.
Out of a shack.
But then, like, you put it together and it's just, like, you lost the instructions and you're just like, I think this is how it works, right? Like, it's just kind of like a Frankenstein of a game where it's made out of good parts, but they don't form a better collective, you know?
Like, taking the piss out of X7 is so funny. Like, it is literally like one of my favorite things to do. It's so trash. But it's such a funny way.
You have to laugh at that stuff. Yeah. It's the same thing with, like, you know, everyone's like, you know, what am I fighting for? And, you know, some people are like, oh, it's overdone. I'm like, yeah, but think of, like, the decades of, like, laughter that scene has brought people. I don't even think it was half bad, but, you know, it's fun.
I feel like the funniest part of X4 is the Zero versus Colonel cutscene. I think that is just the worst acted part of the game. Where
what do you think
you're doing? That is a little...
It's not too late. Stop the coup now.
If that's your decision.
Like, just...
Prepare yourself! Prepare yourself! It's I totally, yeah, I think I remember, like, if you listen to it in Japanese, he doesn't say, like, prepare yourself. I think he just says, like, you know, like, let's go, or something very short, like, you know, like, yeah, and he just jumps at him, and, like, that's it. But in English, I guess they really shortened it down to prepare yourself.
Yeah, you only have 3 seconds to get it out, so make it quick.
Oh my gosh, I wanted
I'm going to attack you now.
Colonel, I'm going to attack you right now with my Z-Saber, which is legally distinct from a lightsaber. Please do not sue us, Lucas. Like, I don't know. I would like to interview Wayne Doster, the voice of Zero in X4, and just ask him, because we've already interviewed Ruth, you know, so she gave us some insight. She didn't even know that she was voicing 2 different characters in Mega Man and X.
I saw that interview, actually. Like, when that came out, I listened to it, and I thought that was really shocking. I was like, how does that even work? There's the part where she says, this is X, what happened, report. I was like, I guess you just say the words on the page, and like Capcom doesn't give a shit to give you any context.
Yeah, she basically, the way that she described it, and what I'm able to discern is that they basically said, We need people who could speak English. If you could speak English, show up. And like that was it.
Yep.
That was the criteria. Not that I'm saying that she did a bad job or anything, but it's just funny that she showed up. I mean, she even said herself, like, yeah, I just kind of showed up, you know, just thought it'd be fun. And yeah, they didn't really give her any direction, no context. She just knew that she was going to be playing the hero, although she did apparently voice Clown Man and didn't know. So, you know, there's just all these, they just didn't say anything. They were producing
So
8 and X4
bizarre.
at the same time and just said, read these lines. No, we're not going to tell you what it means, just say them.
I just find that just so weird. Like that's like it's like no hate in anybody involved. I just find that to be such a bizarre practice. I guess it just goes to show game acting was like the
Yes.
Wild West.
Oh, yeah.
At
It
that
really
point.
was. And you know what? Knowing that history now and like knowing what we had at the time, like you think back to like Capcom Productions, which again probably went through the same sort of you know, shooting from the hip way that they did it for like Resident Evil. You know, like
Yeah.
you're the master of unlocking and, you know, stupid things like that are burned into our brains.
Barry and RE1 is red in X7. I just only
Oh
learned
my
that
god, that's
recently.
crazy. Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
really.
someone has to like splice
you
their
got-
voice
you gotta-
lines together now.
We got to listen to it again. It's like you, the master of unlocking. You could totally hear that when you're like, "You getting this?"
Oh,
Hunter?"
no.
Like, it's the same.
I had heard that the voice of X in X7 went on to be Springman in ARMS,
Yeah.
apparently. That's what I
Really?
heard. I
Yeah.
don't know how true that is.
I know that
but, what
Cygnus in X7 is Alucard.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I can hear that. Hey Richter, cool it. Well, anyway, all this to say, I was trying to say that the voice acting at the time, it's the Wild West of English dubbing for video games. It was very hit or miss if you were going to get something great or bad. And I was going to say, it's a miracle that Mega Man Legends had some of the best voice acting in like video game history, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was weird how that game was just so much better than what the other Mega Man games were doing.
Yeah, it was so good, and I'm like, where was this for X4 and Mega Man 8?
Well, I remember, I think she told you that they recorded that as early as like 1994, which is like, unless I'm remembering that wrong.
I think so.
Yeah,
it was a couple of years before.
Really early, yeah.
Which is like, if they did X4 at that same time, I'm like, that's weird. Would that mean they were recording for Mega Man 8 and like X4 like before X7 or not X7 before X2 and Mega Man 7 were even
technically
out?
before X7. You're not wrong.
I mean, it was before X7, but that's not exactly impressive.
Yeah, I want to know like what the process was like when they started. But she was saying that they were apparently developing them side by side, which makes sense because they did come out relatively close to one another. And I get
Yeah.
the feeling like they both run on like the same engine, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. They both feel
And I'm
sure they
mechanically
do.
the same.
And X3 was outsourced, you know, so they had X4
Yeah.
in the oven for probably quite a while. So it makes sense.
I'm just wondering when Mega Man 7 released. Okay, that came out in
95? Yeah.
95 in the US. Is that the US or is that in Japan? Okay. No, it was 95 across the board. When did X2 come out? X2, I'm pretty sure that was 94.
Yeah. And X3 was 95. And then there was nothing in 6. And then 97 was X4, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
the US release of X3 was 96, which probably explains why like the SNES version is so expensive.
Yeah, 'cause they-
it's the X4 chip
Yes.
and
then that's why
sales.
they made the PlayStation version, because they were like trying to like say, okay, no, look, we're still making Mega Man games, and they just ported it over to
Yeah.
PlayStation with the weird instruments.
And yet that just never came to the West. X3 PS1.
That made me real
Yeah,
sad
it's-
back in the day.
It's very strange. Like, I remember wanting it so badly because I saw the anime cutscenes, and I'm like, yo, this is so cool, I love this. But then I like heard the music and some of the sound effects, and I'm like, oh, this is really underwhelming. I kind of prefer the Super Nintendo sound.
That is the weird thing. Is like I love the soundtrack. I can take it or leave, but then it's like
Sound
the
effects.
sound effects. So there's like this weird like
they're
50s
gross.
B
The
movie,
worst
like-
one is absolutely, I think it's Spinning Blade, the red saw blades that like go forward and
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
it's just like someone humming.
Yeah.
The
Whereas-
charge
Well,
sound
it's
is
like
the
I'm
worst.
just thinking like
Oh, yeah, they all sound very, and they're not punchy. Like the medium shot, I remember just sounding like pew. Like it's just like a little crap.
Well-
They're all muted.
they all just sound to me like they come from some 50s sci-fi
Yeah.
B movie. Like it just like it's
and
like
then someone put a
these
plunger
weird-
over the speaker at the same time because they're all muted.
Yeah. Yeah, very like not very weak and not that punchy. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put
Yeah,
it.
it's very strange, but like there's only like a few tracks in the PlayStation version where I'm like, oh, this is an improvement. It does sound better, but it's very rare. I don't know.
Improvement is rare. So a lot of them are good, like Toxic Seahorse,
Yeah.
Gravity Beetle. I think are both really good on PlayStation.
Yeah, Gravity Beetle's probably my favorite theme from X3, SNES, or PlayStation, or Saturn. If you
Yeah.
want to be technical.
PC.
I said in my new video though that Doppler Stage 1 PlayStation. That's a crime against nature.
True, all true. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Also, I wanted to say, this is just something I wanted to talk to you about because I thought it was funny. You had come to me about wanting to talk about Command Mission at some point, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to talk about Command Mission with you. And then one day, just the other day, I saw you uploaded your video where you're like, why I'm not going to be re-reviewing Command Mission, and I was like,
video scrapped. Well, there goes that.
It was just really funny to me because I'm like, it's been a while since he asked, and he just covered like all the X games. He just did Maverick Hunter X. He even did the Extreme games, which I was really happy for. I wonder if he's gonna like, come to me at some point about this whole Command Mission thing. And then I was like, oh,
Womp womp.
sorry I had to find out this way.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. Like I'm not
Sorry.
even upset.
I did it over text instead of a call.
It's all good. It was just really funny to find out that way because in my mind I was like, it's been a while.
Yeah, I said in that video, I was like debating what I was going to do with Command Mission for a while, but I just really could never settle on an idea where I was like, yes, this sounds like a great video. And I was like, okay, well, if I can't think of an idea where I'm like, this sounds like a video I really want to make, I was like, well, I guess it's scrapped.
Yeah, I can respect that. I don't know. My thoughts on Command Mission, in my opinion, is that it's a fun game to play, but I don't care about the story too much. That's always been my opinion. I like the mechanics in it. I like the way that the battles work, but I just couldn't get invested in the story. And I mean, I've got my thoughts on that, but we can save that for another ramble.
Uh-oh.
Fair enough.
Uh-oh, new ramble incoming.
Whoa.
You heard it right here, folks.
Can I
That's it.
quickly give my coolest and lamest moments?
Yeah, it's your
Sure.
show, man.
When everybody became lion men. That is both answers. Thank you.
Okay, alright. I did say all of Mega Man. I didn't say Mega Man games, so I guess you got me there. If we're opening it up to the cartoon, I'm gonna have to agree with you that Lion Men is probably the coolest and lamest thing that ever happened in Mega Man.
Yeah, since someone who never watched it, I'm
Oh
lost.
my
So
God.
maybe it's better
Watch
that
our
way.
watch our episode on Curse of the Lion Men. It will. You'll learn a lot about
will illuminate
about,
the matter.
the world, and that
You-
that was one of
listen,
the first
man.
times that me and Twitch hung out. That was one of the first things we recorded together, and boy, what a way to start!
Listen, if you love, like, just, taking the piss out of X7, you are in for an entire world of funny things in Ruby Spears Mega Man. I am telling you, if you like Mega Man, you are doing yourself a disservice by not watching Ruby Spears Mega Man. There's episodes where you watch it and you're like, wow, this was awesome. I'm so hyped up. I love being a Mega Man fan. And then there's episodes like Giant Mecha Spider, and you're just like, what? What is happening right now? What is this plot? I don't understand. Or you get, what was his name? What was the plot for the episode where he has
Dr. Pedo?
No, we don't talk about Dr. Pedo. Dr. Pedo, the human scientist that turns robots into real boys.
It makes you feel warm and tingly inside.
Oh no.
But is that his real name? Is my
That
question.
is literally his
That's
real
his name.
name as spoken by Ian James Corlett as Mega Man.
As in Geppetto.
As in Geppetto. It's a
I
Pinocchio
see.
parallel, but they shortened his name to Dr. Pedo, and I don't think they thought that out very clearly. So that was a stupid idea.
But no,
I'm thinking back to Robosaur Park, where Dr. Wily's plan
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
it was so convoluted. It was like, I'm gonna build, I don't know, was it like a robot henchman that looks like a Raptor Man, because he's got like 3 fingers instead of like 5.
Yeah, what was his name?
And then he's going to let loose all the robots so that the robot commandos have to be called in to stop them, so that I can then mind control the robot commandos. Why not just mind control the robot commandos? Why this whole sidestepping with the dinosaurs? I don't understand.
Well, you know, Dr. Wily likes to do it the hard
Yeah,
way.
He comes up with these plans on a weekly basis. Leave him alone.
It's a Rube Goldberg machine style of events before you get to the main plot. I mean, this is also a man, even in the games, where, I don't know, I'm just gonna guess, for like 11 years, he forgot all about that device that he invented that just makes his robots better. He just remembered one day, oh yeah, I invented the Nintendo Switch, and if I jam it in my robots, it makes them faster and stronger.
Or
whatever.
If you go Ruby Spears style, he has a machine that he can just point at a robot master and it becomes his. Like, why not
That's
just use
true.
that on Mega Man?
You know, that's a good point. He like skipped over Mega Man in a roll because he was like, you're weak and stupid, you're just household robots, you don't have anything I can weaponize. But Mega Man literally has a gun built into his arm now. Just do that. I'm telling you, please watch Ruby Spears Mega Man. You're gonna come back a new person.
It's fantastic.
After seeing it. It's so good. It's so good and also so bad, but also still really good.
Yeah, when it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's hilarious.
Yes, exactly. So, so I get the same vibes from when I rag on X7. So I think you'll enjoy it too.
Good to know.
Yes.
I do like ragging at X7, so.
Absolutely. It will. I hope it becomes a new pastime for you. Well, with that, I think I'm out of questions.
Yeah, I'm.
You got anything else, Coleman? Are you good?
I think I've hit the end of it. This was an enlightening experience for everyone. I think
so. You got anything else you wanted to throw in there, Jay? Anything you wanna push, talk about, let the masses know?
Well, don't know when this is coming out, but I mean, I'm kind of had like a chaotic schedule in that, like, right now, I just finished my X Dive video, which is coming out this Friday as of recording.
Yay.
And I also wrote the script and did the narration today for the Mega Man X Armors Ranked video. I really wasn't sure how this was gonna go, but it's like, hope people enjoy it. It's only like 13 to 15 minutes-ish.
That's gonna be cool. I'm working on a power scaling video, and I wanted to power scale the armors at some point, so I'm curious to see what you have to say about them.
Ooh.
And maybe I wonder if
I'll give you the early access version.
Yeah,
see?
I've been excited about the armor video. As soon as you mentioned it, I'm like, yep, I'm into it.
And I looked into it, I was like, it's weird how this is like barely ever been done. There's like one video I can think of where it's like someone actually decided to do the kind of video.
It almost feels too obvious. Like you'd think like, oh yeah, like obviously someone has ranked the armor video, but I guess not. So
I mean, way back in the day, we did like one of our first rambles was about armors, but that went on forever, and it was fun, but it's not.
The Oops All X's?
No. Before that, we did our top armors and
you're
then
right.
bottom
We
armors.
did do that. Yeah, we did do the the worst armors as well. Or excuse me, least
Least
good.
least good. Yep.
Least good. Least best. Excuse me. The politically correct version, so that we don't upset fans who enjoy things like the glide armor.
I think the Gaia armor and the glide armor are so great, right?
Well, I don't want to ramble too much longer. I think we've covered. Did you have more ramble in you, Coleman?
Nah, I just was gonna do the generic. So where can the people find you, assuming they don't know where you come from, Mr. J?
Well, I go by Jay's Reviews on YouTube. So if you didn't know that, now you do.
That's right. Jay is spelled J.
Oh yeah, true. J. No, I forgot J apostrophe S, because like some people think like if somebody like great video Jay. I was like, you know, if that was my name, wouldn't I just call myself Jay's Reviews?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like a needless shortening of a very short name.
Well, you know, some people are very particular. They want to just go by like an initial, like Mr. X.
Yeah.
So maybe secretly Jay is like hosting a robot tournament underneath everyone's noses. We don't know about it.
I knew it.
He's Dr. Wily the whole time.
It was all part of my secret plan. Have a secret Mega Man YouTubers tournament.
Yes. Oh, that would be really sick, actually.
Yeah. All right.
I think I could take Proto Dude in a fight. Well, he's not a YouTuber.
Hey, he's been in videos. I'm counting it.
Okay, that counts. That counts then. That counts. Yeah, check out Jay's reviews. We will have links in the description. He's done fantastic videos, as we mentioned way in the beginning of this, on pretty much every game in the X series, and you know he's currently re-going over the X series. He also covers lots of other topics.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Definitely worth your watch. I've binged everything. Go do the same.
If you're a Capcom fan, you have a decently sized home in my channel. I mean, I'm doing Resident Evil this year. I've been big on Devil May Cry. I'm gonna do Ace Attorney next year, so all the good stuff.
Well,
yeah, Ace Attorney is gonna be good.
yes, I'm looking forward to that. But Jay, thank you for being with us, and I hope we get to have you back again. This was fun.
Yeah, no. Yeah, just let me know and I'll be there.
Yes. All right, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, at home.
But it's not in writing.
It's not in writing. It's just in recording, which might be more damning.
Which might actually be better.
We got you now, Jay. You can't escape.
It was a deep fake.
Oh, dang it! I forgot those are real now. Yeah, man.
Uh-oh. But yes, thank you all for watching this episode, and thank you too for being on, and we'll see you next time.
All right, sounds good to me. Take care, everybody.
Hey, thanks for watching. Huge thanks to Jay of Jay's Reviews for being on the show. I hope you'll join us again soon. And, as always, a big thanks to our channel members: Sylvie, Dano, Van Jackson, Sigma, Duckman, Asterisk, Dornor, Droopy, Springqueen, Masterman, and the rest of our supporters. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.